Springfield's new Hellcat. Let's check this thing out. Alright, so real quick before we dive into the Hellcat, before the Hellcat, I probably hadn't shot or bought a Springfield in probably about 10 years. I think I bought one of the first XDs a long time ago. It was a gun I was definitely interested in, but when Springfield reached out to me, a big part of what I do here and what I've done on Instagram for the last couple years is I like to be honest with you guys about the guns that I get and how they shoot. So I didn't want to have to sign a contract or anything like that with them, and they said, nope, you get the gun, say whatever you want, good or bad. So when I got it from the gun store, I just checked it to make sure it was functioning. I threw it back in the case, and this is gonna be my first shots with it. So it's gonna be 100% honest, good, bad. Let's get to it. So Springfield was nice enough to send over a full kit. It comes with a Vaultex safe that has the push buttons to open. We have the crossbreed holster, the 11 round magazine, the 13 round magazine, gun lock, you know, the essential things like that. I thought that was a nice touch to be able to get it out of the box and have a safe and a holster for it. All right, so this will be the first shot with the Hellcat. Loaded up the 11 round and the 13 round magazine. The magazines are really stiff. They don't have that little cheater tool to help you load the rounds, which I normally try not to use, but I probably would have used for these, which is expected with a new gun. But if you're not super strong, you might have a little struggle loading these up at the beginning. But we're just gonna shoot this thing, and I'm just gonna kind of talk you through what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling. We got a target here at about 5 yards, so we'll shoot it, and then we'll check hits, and we'll go from there. So it's not as snappy as I expected. You know, I shoot a 43 365s. They're snappy. I can already feel on my thumb from this little touch point that I'm gonna get a little wear there, because I think, I'm not sure on the video, but I think my thumb's falling off in recoil. But and those sights aren't that bad either. Trigger take-up's pretty good. Let's hold it for reset here a second. Reset's a little bit longer than I'd like. I kind of like it to just be, you know, as soon as you start letting off, you get that click reset. You can hear it though. Pre-travel is good. Reset's about the same as the take-up. I didn't expect to get slide lock. I tend to ride up pretty high, but really not that bad for what I was expecting. Let's go to the 13. This will help a little because I can get my hand on this one since I do have bigger hands. Let's see how the slide release is. Not that stiff. It's nice. Okay, let's go. See, my thumb is falling off sometimes. I can feel it, and then sometimes it stays, but the recoil feels more straight back and less up than my 43. The sights aren't bad. It's got that U in the back. It's not as like parts of 3 where it's like equal distance. So it's a little bit weird to kind of set that front sight in. But that front sight being the night sight or whatever it is, you pick it up pretty quick. Trigger is good. I mean, for a smaller gun, that trigger is good. That mag release is pretty nice. It's got a little texture on it. Honestly, that shot a lot smoother than I was expecting. Let me show you my hits here real quick. Pretty nice grouping. Felt like I was shooting a little to the left. Not sure why, but we'll pay attention to that. Give you a little view of that sight. So I think it's just something you need to kind of get used to picking up. You know, stock sights are kind of a tricky thing because if they put on good sights from the factory, it might not be the sights that the shooter wants, so then you're kind of paying up front for those sights. But then at the same time, it is nice to have a sight that you pick up. And these ones are steel, so you can rack with the rear sight if you're doing one-handed manipulations. They also have the stock pistol, and then they have an OSP version, which is optical sight pistol. It comes pre-cut for a dot. The pre-cut plate still has serrations on it. It looks nice. It's I was buying one, I would definitely buy the OSP version because I think it gives you more value on the back end. Plus, it's always nice to be able to throw a dot on. This is one thing I always check too with pistols is how well does that mag drop? I hate sticky mags because if they're sticky at the beginning when you get a gun, they're gonna get way stickier once they get messy and dirty. So they drop nice. I can tell that my thumb is sliding off if I'm keeping it here. I've been riding this little like ridge up here and I feel like that's helping me a little bit more. Actually not using that, whatever you call it, that touch point. See, I fell off there, let's try here. I feel like I'm getting 2 recoil impulses sometimes, but I'm using the same ammo, so I'm not sure where that's coming from. One feels a little softer, it could just be the ammo. It's like sometimes it's soft and sometimes it's snappy. But I mean, that wasn't very far distance, but I'm getting good groups out of it. It's just getting used to new guns. It's half the fun, right? So if I'm wearing a belt, I'm carrying a bigger gun. Like today I have my Glock 48. Normally it's a Glock 19. I've been trying out this holster with the new Tier 1 wedges. But if I'm carrying a micro subcompact, it's on my ankle. And right now it's a 43. But I don't like that it's only 6+1, and that's kind of my beef with the 43. And a lot of people say, well, use the 43X, but what I have a hard time concealing with an ankle gun is the grip. So I need a shorter grip or else that grip pushes out through pants, and that's the thing that prints on an ankle gun. So that's where I like this gun and the 365, you know, those 11+1s, 10+1s, because I'm not going to use that extended mag because that'll print out, so I'd be using the 11+1. So 12 rounds is a lot better than 7 rounds. So that's where I think guns like this have a place, and this one's pretty good. One more time on that trigger. So that's the take up. I'm on the wall now. So that reset, you know, I would like that reset to be right now, not there. But really for a small gun, it's not a bad trigger. It's undercut as well. I like that. My hand sits a little bit better. And honestly, let me show you how high I can ride on this thing. You know, we talked about ride height. I like to get as high on the gun as I can, leverage friction. But honestly, this isn't that bad. I mean, I'd really like to be more like probably there, but you know, it's pretty good. Especially for having a beaver tail, because a lot of people want to know they're not going to get slide bit. I don't really care about that, but I thought I would be lower on it and it would be a little bit more jerky, I guess. So you guys, if you followed me for a while, you know I like to rack from the front. So anytime a little gun comes with front serrations, I'm a big fan. It's just the way I've always chambered around for a long time. Let's just take a couple shots here. That longer reset makes me kind of short stroke it sometimes, but I don't fall off this gun as much as I thought I would. I really fall off, my grip falls off my 43 pretty bad. I can't get enough on it. Where this one, especially with this extended, you stay on it pretty well for how small it is. I just hate that there's no place for this. You know, my thumb just tends to fall off. But this is a universal rail, so you can add lights and stuff to this. That's a nice touch for a subcompact or a micro sub, actually being able to put a light on it. I don't even think 43 has a rail, now that I think about it. Alright, so everyone knows that the Hellcat is Springfield's answer to the 365, the 43. You know, they're trying to get into that market, and they're late. You know, those guns have been out for a while. They're established, and they're good guns. I love my 43. I love shooting the 365. But the capacity issue with my 43 is what would make me take this over the 43 when I start to trust this. I've just shot it today, but you know, having, what is it, 5 more rounds on me, about the same size, I'm taking that all day long. And I think that's where the 43 is losing now, and why they've lost to the 365 is capacity. You know, people want more bullets in their gun, and if you can do it like the 365 showed us, and this is showing us as well, do it. You know, this is a 1-inch wide by 6-inch long gun that carries 12 rounds or 14 rounds depending on the magazine you want to take. That's better. I think the trigger's great. I think the texturing is good, it's smart. You know, the texturing is like a pyramid low and a flat pyramid high. So the softer you grip it, or the tighter you grip it, you start getting into the harder texture. So I think that's pretty smart. All right, let's roll that B-roll while we talk about this thing. Okay, so the positives of this gun. I think that the stock sights are nice. I think it's better than having just a cheap plastic 3-dot. I think it's a little bit easier to pick up, especially for newer shooters. Same thing with the trigger. I think the trigger is good, not great. I wish there was less take-up. I wish the reset was quicker. But I'm also accustomed to drop-in triggers on most of my guns, so I'm a little bit more particular. I think it's a good trigger to learn on for newer shooters because it's not going to be too quick to either the wall or the reset. The stippling is smart. The texturing, I guess I should say. It's not quite stippling, but having a gun with an undercut and some texturing, especially on a small gun that's snappy, I think from the factory is smart, because these guns will run on you if you don't have that friction on them. So it's nice to have those things. I think the place for your thumb, granted my hand's big so my thumb goes a little bit beyond it, I think having that little textured spot for your thumb is smart. 11 rounds in your small mag, 13 rounds in your big mag, that's also a huge thing. It's the highest capacity for this size gun on the market right now. I think that's a great touch. Having guns come with serrations now I think is a must. So they did a good job offering a stock gun in the 500 range for a smaller gun. I mean, it's going to be more expensive than your 43. It's going to be right around the same price of your 365 depending on which one you're looking at. So it's in that arena. It's just getting people to trust a Springfield gun that's not an XD, that doesn't have grip zone. You know, a lot of shooters aren't into that, so they don't really trust the Springfield handguns anymore. But I think this really has a chance of pulling some people away from other guns in that micro sub spot. Okay, and now for the bad. I mean, I really don't have anything that I would say I don't like adamantly. I'm not crazy about the beaver tail. I'd like to be able to get up a little bit higher. Like I said, the trigger could be a little bit better, but I think that's me just being overly particular. I honestly think the biggest knock on this gun right now is that it's gonna be a Springfield. You know, there's a big market of people that don't use Springfields anymore because of what happened in Illinois and because of the XD and the grip zone. You know, serious shooters have kind of been turned off to Springfield, but I do think this gun is a gun that could bring people back. Well guys, I hope you liked this video on the Springfield Hellcat. Thank you Springfield for sending me the pistol. Thank you TA Targets for sending me the steel. You know, this stuff wouldn't be possible without the help from you guys. If you guys like these videos, please like, please subscribe. You know, I always say this, but I love making these videos for you guys. You know, I don't have a huge channel, but it's just something for me to do and have fun with, you know, that I'd be doing anyway without the camera here. So I'm gonna shut the camera off now, shoot this thing for real, but thank you guys for coming. Please like, please subscribe. We'll see you later.